DB, because like DB was one of my vets when I was in Phoenix, and then we gathered here into Indiana, and like it was kind of a surprise that she was signed to Indiana anyway, and so we'll take her in a heartbeat. Like, she's a Hall of Famer, she's a hell of a basketball player. They got mad that our fan base was booing her.
I don't believe in booing former players unless they left on
name over here. She signed a max contract. She knew Phoenix didn't have the bread. She got 80 here and went and got the rest over there.
I don't understand why DeWanna Bonner is taking these interviews at this point in time, because I'm like, look, you're in Phoenix. You've got what you wanted. You've got what everyone expected you wanted all along. Everything's gone your way. Indiana haters are going to love you because you screwed over the Fever. They're going to love you because you screwed over the Fever. Phoenix Mercury fans are going to love you. Rival fans are going to love you because you basically screwed over the Fever. Fever
wasn't happy, and like, I want people to be happy, so that's why I'm kind of like neutral on this one, which a lot of people are surprised about. She's towards the end of her career, so like, she deserves her flowers. She deserves to be happy, but I also think that if you're gonna leave, like, you're gonna have to expect getting bit. Like,
was there explanation when it happened? No, not even privately. Yeah, I mean, okay, that's tough. And yeah, okay. Well, I did say what? Unless you leave on some fuck you type shit, and that's what that.
DeWanna Bonner had any idea that how dirty she did her teammates on her way out of Indiana would ever come out to light. But Sophie Cunningham said, hold my beer. I got a podcast. I got this platform. I'm going to speak my mind. I'm not going to toe the company line. I'm not going to protect narratives. I'm not going to follow agendas. I'm going to tell you how it all went down. And DeWanna Bonner disappeared.
This is definitely going to be a part of her history, man, because the new wave is taking over. These new fans are watching. So at the end of the day, yeah.
DeWanna Bonner quit on her team. She literally quit on her team. She didn't say, hey, this isn't working out. She just didn't say anything at all. She didn't say, hey, wish you guys good luck. She just didn't say anything at all. While she was conspiring behind the scenes on how to get out of Indiana, how to take that money and run, she left her teammates in the dark. She left her teammates just like us, wondering what the heck is going on. And Sophie Cunningham is shedding some light onto that entire.
Minutes had significantly dropped from last year. Well, in turn, if her minutes drop, a lot of her production numbers that she can see and the rest of the league can see also dropped with it. Look, she's just like Natasha Howard. She looks old on the court. All right, not trying to be this is not ageism. She looks like an older athlete. All right, she looks slower on the court, and the team has been lacking energy. It's been a serious problem. Seriously, long overdue. Let her go to the place where she feels.
Cunningham, that is her first team set. Coming in from Martin Phoenix, number 14.
Refuse to show up to work while receiving money, while taking payment. You refuse to show up and do the job. And let's be clear, you wasn't even good while you was here. You was shooting threes hitting the side of the.
Well, I don't want to come off the bench. It's not enough. It's not a personal issue. Well, I don't like.
DeWanna Bonner, I wouldn't do anything differently. I think my journey is my journey. I'm going to accept that. It carried me to where I am now in Phoenix, and it happened that way for a reason. It didn't happen that way for a reason. You forced yourself out of.
Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. See ya. Wouldn't
do anything differently. You took 80 grand from the Indiana Fever. You could have just signed. Like, that's one of the things. Like, I don't understand why you take these interviews. I don't understand why someone would take an interview and say that, when the reality is that all you did was took a whole bunch of money from a team.
TV is somebody that, is a Hall of Famer, like a legend, not only a good basketball player, a great person, a great leader, the strongest voice in our.
I want her to end her career and be happy, but I also think that, like, it's okay to be professional about it and, like, send a text to your teammates. Send a text and be like, hey, like, love you guys, or you don't even have to say love you guys. Just like, hey, sorry this didn't work out. Good luck. Da-da-da-da. You know what I mean? Like, there's a way to handle.
Sophie Cunningham just lit a fire under one of the most talked about storylines in the WNBA this season, the mysterious and sudden departure of DeWanna Bonner from the Indiana Fever. What she revealed during her podcast wasn't loud or exaggerated, but it sent shockwaves across the league. Why? Because it confirmed what so many people had quietly suspected but didn't want to believe. DeWanna Bonner didn't just leave the Fever, she completely abandoned them without notice. No text, no conversation, no communication, just silence. Sophie didn't come at this from a place of drama. She spoke from experience. She made it clear she has love for Bonner, even calling her one of her vets from their shared time in Phoenix. Bonner has had a legendary career, a future Hall of Famer, a proven scorer, a respected presence in any locker room she's entered. So when Indiana signed her, even though it caught some people by surprise, there was a sense of optimism. This was a young team in transition. A player like Bonner could provide leadership, scoring, and maturity. But what actually happened behind closed doors was very different. According to Sophie, Bonner never really settled into the team. She didn't seem happy in Indiana. And while Sophie expressed understanding, saying everyone deserves to be in a place where they feel comfortable and valued, she also emphasized that how Bonner left was what caused the real damage. There's a right way and a wrong way to leave a team. And this wasn't the right way. Bonner, according to Sophie, didn't tell anyone she was done. No warning, no explanation. She just stopped showing up. That's not how a professional should handle things, especially one with Bonner's reputation and status. Sophie said there wasn't even a private text message to teammates letting them know she was leaving or that she was unhappy. Nothing. Just silence. And that silence hit hard. Sophie explained that from her own personal view, she could stay neutral. She cares about Bonner, wants her to be happy, and understands if things weren't working out. But she was also quick to point out that fans don't owe that neutrality. Fans invest emotionally in these teams. They wear the jerseys, follow the games, and root for the players. And when a major figure on the team walks away without a word, fans are right to feel betrayed. From the outside, it looks like Bonner quit on the team, and Sophie said that's exactly what happened. To help illustrate just how damaging that is, Sophie compared it to a real-life job scenario. Imagine working at a startup with your friends. Everyone's taken big risks, made sacrifices, put in long hours. You're all in it together. Now imagine one of the key players, someone essential to the success of the company, suddenly disappears. Doesn't resign, doesn't hold a meeting, doesn't explain anything, just vanishes. Later you find out through someone else that they're done, and they never reached out to say goodbye. That's not just unprofessional, that's disrespectful. And that's exactly what Sophie was saying. The disappointment isn't just about the fact that Bonner left. It's about the fact that she left without giving her teammates the decency of an explanation. She was supposed to be the vet. She was supposed to help lead. But when the team needed her to show maturity and communicate, she walked away in silence. Sophie also mentioned that there was no official announcement when Bonner left. Not publicly, not privately. The fans were left confused. The media scrambled to figure out what happened. And inside the Fever locker room, people were upset. And understandably so. These weren't just teammates. Many were young players who looked up to Bonner for leadership. Caitlin Clark, for example, is a rookie navigating one of the most high-pressure rookie seasons in league history. A strong, experienced teammate like Bonner could have helped her navigate the noise. Instead, she vanished, and the locker room was left to figure it out on their own. Sophie went on to describe just how visible the tension became after DeWanna Bonner's departure. She pointed to a specific moment during Bonner's return game against Indiana. Natasha Howard blocked Bonner's shot, and Caitlin Clark jumped up celebrating with more energy than anyone had seen from her in weeks. That wasn't just excitement over a play. That was personal. That was emotional. It was as if the team had been waiting for that moment, and they weren't going to let it pass quietly. Sophie said something that really stood out. None of the Fever players wanted Bonner to even touch the ball during that game. That statement tells you everything you need to know about how the team felt. They weren't just indifferent. They weren't just professional about it. They were upset. They felt betrayed. And the way they played said it all. Sophie also responded to the idea that maybe she should have kept quiet, that maybe she was throwing Bonner under the bus. But she shut that down quickly. Bonner plays for another team now. She left the Fever. She walked out on the locker room. In competitive sports, that makes her the opponent. That's not a personal attack. That's the reality of playing at the highest level. When someone leaves your team, especially under those circumstances, you stop protecting them. That's just how it works. And then there's the issue of trades. Sophie mentioned that Bonner had turned down trade opportunities before eventually walking away. So if she had chances to leave the right way, through the proper channels, why reject them, only to later disappear without notice? That decision made everything worse. It sent a message to her teammates that she didn't care enough to leave respectfully. She didn't communicate. She didn't offer closure. She didn't even say goodbye. For someone with her status, that silence hit like a punch to the gut. Sophie compared the situation to other players who've left teams before, even the controversial ones. She brought up Jimmy Butler. For all the noise that follows him, even he made sure to communicate with teammates when things got tense. He stayed in touch. He explained himself. Bonner didn't. That's what separates a difficult situation from a damaging one. Leadership isn't about being perfect. It's about being accountable. And Bonner didn't show that. Another layer Sophie addressed was how people on social media tried to flip the narrative. Some said Indiana was a toxic environment and that's why Bonner left. But Sophie wasn't having it. She said that's simply not the case. If the Fever were so toxic, then how do you explain the energy and chemistry among players like Natasha Howard, Sydney Colson, and even rookies like Chloe Bibby and Ari McDonald? According to Sophie, this team has actually become more connected, more united in the aftermath of Bonner's departure. That says a lot. Sure, the locker room had its ups and downs, especially during the stretch when both Bonner and head coach Stephanie White were gone. Sophie even admitted that it was a strange time, but she made it clear that the team pulled together. They fought through it, and once Bonner was out of the picture, they started playing better basketball. That's not a coincidence, that's a shift in locker room energy. And let's not forget how this all affected Caitlin Clark. During the time Bonner was walking away, Clark looked off. Her body language was different. She seemed mentally checked out. Something clearly wasn't right. And if you go back and watch the games from that period, you can see it. The hesitation, the frustration, the lack of spark. But once the dust settled and the team found its footing again, Clark started to look like herself. That's not a coincidence either. Sophie wrapped it all up by calling Bonner's exit one of the worst she's ever seen. Not because of the decision to leave, but because of the lack of professionalism behind it. It wasn't a misunderstanding, it wasn't a mutual parting, it was abandonment. And for someone with Bonner's legacy, that's not how anyone expected her to go out. Even now, Sophie says she still wants Bonner to be happy. She still respects what she accomplished in her career, but respect doesn't mean ignoring the facts. Respect doesn't mean excusing behavior that hurt teammates and left a locker room scrambling for answers. This was a situation where one of the league's most respected veterans chose to leave without a word, and the people left behind are still dealing with the fallout. At the end of the day, the message is clear. Leadership isn't just about stats or years in the league. It's about showing up when it's hard. It's about communicating. And above all, it's about respect. DeWanna Bonner didn't give that to the Indiana Fever, and now the fans and her former teammates won't forget it.